Auburn, California, above the fog and below the snow. The perfect place. Rural, steep cliffs, wooded areas, dirt roads. There are a lot of places to bury a body.
What were you doing that brought you here in 2003?
I was conditioning a horse to do endurance. That was Labor Day weekend, Saturday, that I came up on my normal training ride. Right about here,
Yeah.
I saw a freshly dug hole in the brush. The rest of my ride, I kept trying to justify why it was there.
It sort of haunted you, it sounds like.
It did.
We had just come home from our summer house up in the Sierras. I barbecued.
At dinner were Don and Lynette Vandershoot, their daughter Justine, and her boyfriend Danny. No one had any idea what nightmare was about to unfold after that meal.
I gave her a kiss on the forehead, said, "Good night, I love you."
I spoke to her on the phone. I told her that I loved her.
I was leaving for work at 5:30 in the morning.
Lynette walks into Justine's room. Justine is not there. The dog is on the bed, the front door is open, and her car is gone.
17 years old, disappears, leaves everything behind without trace. It felt sinister.
We're gonna find her. We searched and searched everywhere.
There were searches that the Vandershoots organized. And then there were searches that we did on our own with our search and rescue teams.
I try to imagine what it was like and what it's gonna be like when she comes back.
Danny and his roommate, Brandon, were on the sheriff's radar quickly.
Friends started to come forward about how jealous Danny was of Justine.
They were interviewed that first day. They said, oh no, we were home all night. There's a belief right away that they are concealing something about Justine's disappearance.
Okay, have a seat. Have you ever seen anyone die, Brandon?
Tone changes, story changes. He confesses.
Brandon claims that Danny killed Justine.
She's laying down and he's over her and his hands were not released. But
He explained that Danny was choking her and that he helped bury her.
Let's go.
At the end of the interview, Brandon led the investigators to the location of Justine's body.
Justine Vandershoot's body discovered buried in a shallow grave.
The Auburn Journal had a photo of just the brush where Justine had been buried, and I went, oh my gosh. I saw a freshly dug hole 3 days prior to her disappearance. I immediately, contacted the sheriff's department.
That was a big piece of evidence. That's absolutely cold-blooded, premeditated.
The Vandershoot family says they are relieved.
The decision was made to accept pleas to murder from both defendants and give them a life sentence.
Hopefully we can all move on from here.
No one would have ever imagined that 20 years later we would still be fighting for justice for Justine and her family. In 2020, Brandon Fernandez filed a petition to get out of his murder conviction. If Brandon's petition is granted, one of Justine's killers will walk free.
We're fighting for her. That's why we're here. She doesn't have a voice, so we're her voice.